everyone. Welcome to the first virtual town hall of NComputing partners in the Philippines. Before we begin, let me go over a few house rules to make everyone's webinar experience better. So, number one, all the participants will be on mute upon entry. And number two, please use the chat box to post any questions you may have throughout this webinar. So, the next one is this webinar is recorded and you will get a copy of the recording after the session. And lastly, we would love to hear from you. So, please tell us how we did by answering the feedback form at the end of this session. So, that's it. To start, Ms. Aika, please proceed to the next slide. It is my honor to introduce our presenters and our agenda for today. So for this one, we are going to cover, we would hear some welcome greetings from WSI President, and then we will also hear from the NComputing CEO and co-founder. And then Manju will be covering today's new normal and some and computing product overview. And then Manju will also cover the future of work style and what is it going to be in the new normal, and what are the end computing products for these new business norms. So after that, Sir Oliver will also cover some customer success stories, and then some in computing active and end of life products, and what would be our key vertical markets in the year 2021. And then Jesse from N Computing will also cover N Computing and Azure Windows Virtual Desktop solution. And then Mrs. and Sir Enzo will cover sales promotions and some announcements from WSI. So next slide, please, Ms. Aika. So for the End Computing team, today we are joined by Manjuna, the Director of Business Development in APAC and Middle East. So that's gonna be his picture here on the top left. And then we are also joined by Sir Oliver Joseph Pabilia, the product manager in the Philippines. Say hi, Sir Oliver. And
Magandang
then
umaga.
we will be joined by Senthil Kumar, the technical manager for APAC and MEA Market for End Computing. And then Jesse Pan, the solution architect for APAC, MEA for End Computing. So from WSI side, Ms. Aika, please proceed to the next slide. So we are joined today by Mrs. Asinita, Senior Manager of here in WSI. And then we are also joined by Lawrence Migalles, the Product Manager for End Computing here in Vortex Systems. And I would also like to acknowledge Ma'am Jing Dorente, the VP here for Solutions in WSI. And lastly, that's me, the Product Marketing Assistant for End Computing, and your host for today. So I guess that's all from my end, and I'm sure you are already excited to get everything started. So to really kickstart this session, we are joined today by Mrs. Asinita, the Senior Manager here in WSI, to give us the opening remarks. Mrs.
Hi, good morning to everybody. My name is Cecil Asenita. I head the Solutions Group 1. So that's under Solutions Division. So I'm happy to have to see all the partners here. I think we have about 42 companies, partners who registered for this event. This is our very first N Computing Partner Town Hall. So we have a lot of topics in store for you today. New products will be announced, new solutions that can help you cater to requirements of your customers who are working from home. So please join us until the end of the session. It's a 1 hour session. Enzo will later announce the programs that we have that will help you sell. So before, as I end this welcome note, the next video we have a message from our president, Mr. Juan Chua. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending the first town hall meeting of WSI. And today, this town hall is being sponsored by NComputing and WSI. As you know, we are in a pandemic situation. It's very important for people to be able to work from home at a reasonable price. And that's where N Computing will come in. N Computing will provide you with very cost efficient, very secure, and very durable solution to working from home through the use of virtualization. So I hope you spend the time today to be able to learn everything about N Computing, and I hope that you will devote resources to sell and computing to your clients and help them become more efficient in this situation. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. This is Oliver from NComputing. I hope my audio is okay. First of all, thank you for joining us in this event. We are very, very much appreciative of sharing your time for this morning. On the end of NComputing and in our end, it's my honor and privilege to introduce our co-founder and CEO, Mr. Yong Song. We will be hearing from him in a recorded video message. Aika, maybe you could just play the video for us. Again, thank you very much and welcome.
Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to join this virtual meeting of NComputing Partner webinar. As someone once said, the show must go on. I appreciate your effort to be together virtually today. A coronavirus has put the world on pause, and it has put the questions where to go from here. This pandemic has disrupted old way of doing business, as you know. So we have to change. And this is time to adopt cloud, remote workspace infrastructure, desk the virtualizations, and upgrade all aspects of your business tool to move into digital first new world. We have to. This year, the 18th anniversary year of NComputing, we're very actively introducing new products and service. These new things help your business and your customer data security and flexibility and productivity. Philippines is a very important market to us, and I personally commit for this market success. We are with you every step of your recovery of a business, and we will help you to build sustainable business model for the future together. Please enjoy this webinar to learn more and computing new things, and feel free to feedback to me. Again, I appreciate all you're doing last year and expecting this year's also. I look forward to seeing you in your futures, and please stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Okay. I do hope that we will make most of this session. Um, our speaker is a veteran in the IT industry. He's been there for almost a long time in computing. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Ms. Manjunat R, our director for sales and operation in APAC and Middle East and Asia. Manju.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. Good morning, everyone. Warm welcome back to the town hall meeting. and it's our honor and privilege to be part of this energetic team of Philippines, where we have been doing growing our business year on year for last 10 years. Uh, so I would be basically talking about some of the interesting products what NComputing has been offering, or we have reinvented these products during the pandemic time to suit the current IT trend, or the current customer requirement. So we all know, our leaders just talked about our CEO as well as the president of WSI. Last year was one of the toughest situation. We none of us have ever seen such a situation. In my perspective, I believe the last year was more of a reboot for all our businesses, and now since last 2 3 months, the business is slowly coming back to the normal. Now we are all just like rebooted, freshly rebooted system, and ready to log in and go in full speed to conquer the market. So just to give some perspective of today's business environment, if you really look at the globally, the work from home or the cloud based remote computing solution is becoming very important for all the organization. Okay, and this specific technology is actually slated to grow at a very rapid pace in this year. The reason is all the businesses seen the kind of impact, business disconnect we had because of the pandemic, and all the organization wants to ensure that there is a 24 bar 7 availability of IT infrastructure to their employees, where the company applications data can be seamlessly delivered irrespective of wherever they are. Okay, so this is the main topic or main agenda or the main solution where NComputing is completely focusing today, and this is going to be our core business for 2021. So can we go to the next slide? So some overview of the last year. This is, in fact, I covered these points. So financial 2020, one of the toughest business season for all of us. We have seen so many, unpredicted situation, business situation, discontinuity, manufacturing segments, retail coming to a standstill kind of environment. So this was one of the biggest challenge we had last year. We all, everyone, we all learned how to deal with this hard situation. Even today, the coronavirus is not completely vanished, but people have learned to come back, and how do we proceed from here, live with the virus or go with the virus and start our business normally. So this is what we have learned. This is one of the biggest learning for all of us during this situation. Remote work, so it could be any, I'm not talking about only IT, it could be any business. Remote work is becoming a backbone for the survival. So to ensure the remote work, IT becomes one of the very important aspect. And for all of us, we are all in the IT business for such a long time. For all of us, this actually creates a very great and very huge opportunity for all of us to sell our remote work technologies. So when I say remote work technologies, it's not only the VDI part of it. There are multiple solution to offer the remote technologies seamlessly, starting with VDI security, then your VPN. There are many things around it. So with this situation, all the companies or customers, they started implementing remote work solution one or the other way. So many people have already deployed. Many people are now considering, because going forward in the future, all the customers and companies wants to be ready for such situation. In spite of it could be anything coming up. So no pandemic situation, people want to ensure the business should not come to standstill, and it's a huge scope for all of us for growth. And our sincere, request or focus should be, how do we smartly reach out to customer, communicate our offering, and how do we convert and win more and more such opportunities in favor of n computing. So let's go to the next slide. So as I said, we in computing during the pandemic time, we actually help a lot of customers to migrate to remote work solution with our very affordable solution. Some of them are, vSpace work from home solution. This we released sometime, in May for time frame, which helped many of our customers, the existing customers who have been using vSpace solution, to very easily migrate to work from home or remote work solution. So we also released a very interesting solution called Verde Remote Access Solution. This is a very different solution. It's not a VDI solution remote, but it's more of a how do you access your remote PC from anywhere. So this is also a very interesting solution. We have a lot of customers adopted this solution during the pandemic. Then NComputing also partnered with many of the industry leading VDI solution providers like Azure, Microsoft, then Citrix. So we are also complementing along with them, offering our hardware solution, which are all certified WVD thin clients or Microsoft RDS thin clients, to basically enhance the simplicity of deployment to customer and, ensure the cost saving for customers. The recent collaboration, which is very new, this is just 2 weeks old. This is from igel OS. Igel is one of the industry's well-known enterprise player for thin client operating system, and they are very big in Citrix and VMware solution offering. So we have collaborated with igel, wherein we bring in a thin client which will work on igel operating system. So this is one of our the newest offering, and the specific is going to be Citrix and VMware user base. Next slide, please. So future of work style. This is where everyone we need to focus, which is going to be the new normal. If you really look at, today, any IT customer would look at three key factors. That is, how do they want to reduce the dependency of people coming onto the premises and working, right? So they want to ensure a technology which can seamlessly offer their users computing environment from anywhere, either physically in the office or at the home, or they may be on the go. It could be anywhere. That's what, the primary criteria for all the companies to consider. They want to provide more flexible work from anywhere option. So again, the work from home or remote connectivity becomes very important. So when you do all this, remote work, the security becomes a primary concern for the customer, because they need to consider offering a secured remote access to their corporate application and data. So all these challenges, NComputing has a complete range of products which can actually address these challenges, and all our products with our, and computing DNA, simple, powerful, affordable, and, proven. So we have vSpace, which is, very proven solution, Verde VDI for remote access, and we have Azure WVD, Microsoft RDS certified thin client. And the complete range of these products can be actually chosen by customer to suit to their requirement of, VDI deployment. So this is where I've been stressing, we only, do not have a vSpace as a product. We have a lot of other range of products wherein you can actually target to customer for any of the requirements. So there is a Microsoft product, there is a vSpace product, there is a Citrix product, and all these can actually help you to address one or the more requirement of customers. Next slide. So our new products for new business norms. So I would take you through some of the product offering which basically helped customer or which can help customer to migrate to work from anywhere kind of environment. So let's move to the next slide. So NComputing's vSpace work from home solution. So this is one of our most affordable remote work solution. This actually works on combination of any of the NComputing hardware or software client at the user side, that is at the home office, and at the corporate office. Customers can deploy vSpace Pro Enterprise server, then they need to have a VPN server, then expose their environment to the outside world via internet. Once they do that, any of the users sitting at home office or a remote, they can simply connect to VPN server, and then they connect securely to the vSpace server and start using their corporate application and data. So this is one of the most simplest and very affordable solution. So here we have combination of multiple options for customers to choose as a access device. They can actually choose from our thin client ranges, which is a physical thin client. If customer do not have any computer at home or no access device, they can simply buy a RX 300 thin client and start connecting to the corporate server. Leaf OS, this is a software client which can be used to repurpose any of the old PC to act like a thin client. So this is also a very interesting solution. If customers are having their own laptop or PC at home, they can simply use our software client, which is called vSpace Pro Client, and install on top of their Windows operating system and just connect to the corporate network. So with all these combination, all of you can actually offer multiple different varieties of solution to customer. So next slide. This is a very interesting solution where we call this product as Verde Remote Access Solution. So if you really look at the name remote access, this actually provides a remote access. This is not a VDI, this is a remote access. Whereas the earlier one, vSpace work from home, that's actually a VDI which is provisioned from head office or data center of the corporate. So how this solution helps customer is, assume you have a customer who has already procured PCs and he has been running those PCs inside their office premises, or if it is an education institute, they might be already set up a lab wherein they would have physically procured the PCs running for maybe last 2 years, 3 years. And the bigger challenge is with the pandemic or these kind of situation, how do they basically provide the access of those PCs to their students who are basically at home or outside the campus. So if you really look at VDI solution, they have to again reinvest entire every component of the IT to set up a complete VDI. But with Verde remote access, we actually can actually all the students sitting at home can remotely connect and start working on their own physical pieces like a 1:1 VDI. So this solution is a more of a software solution where we sell this as a licenses concurrent, and wherein a gateway product called Verde Remote Access Gateway. This is the one which will be installed at customer premises. Using this, all the students can start logging into their physical machine. So if you really, if I want to summarize, you can actually provide remote access of physical computers from anywhere. And this is again the most affordable and simplest remote access solution in the industry. And this is actually highly secure connection because all the connections and executions are all SSL encrypted. So customer no need to worry about data exposure. So easy to deploy with a virtual appliance. So the simple, in fact, I would like to, give you a small example. One of our customer deployed this solution, which took them just 3 days to deploy and make it, up and running, give the access to their students. So it's so easy actually. You can make it up and running within an hours of time. uh, this also comes with a management and monitoring console, which is a web-based console wherein customers can keep a complete track of all the connections and manage the activities. And this is again highly secure, easy to set up and manage, very cost effective solution. So this is on the Worday remote access. Next slide please. So on on the Varday remote access, we wanted to basically talk about one of the case studies which we successfully converted. That's the one I was talking about, wherein within 4 days of time we were able to make them up and running. This is a college from Philippines called Asia Pacific College, and the requirement here was basically the college had a computer lab, and the lab is basically for high-end application training like Photoshop, those kind of application. And the college never found a affordable or a very competitive, easy to deploy solution. That's where NComputing pitched in, and we helped them to completely convert this lab into a remote access lab wherein students can access anywhere, anytime. So one of the key factor here is unmetered access of the uh, lab from students. So I would like to ask Oliver to pitch in here and just give his complete background information of this customer, so that we all can be on the same page where we go to the market, then we can clearly articulate these kind of success stories, replicate it in your market. So Oliver, over to you. Thank you
Thank you,
everyone.
Manju. Thank you. Good morning again, everyone. I'd like to share some introduction before we do some video playback on what happened in Asia Pacific. So, Mr. Giorgio Castillo, the one in the picture in the screen, is the Executive Director for Technical Services. So, actually, the pandemic really limited schools in delivering their educational curriculum to students the past year. So, it was just in the evening that time that I happened to really text Mr. Jojo and just asking how are they doing right now. And Jojo responded that they have this problem of not really maximizing their existing equipment, namely their computer laboratory. So what happened was the next day we did a talk. I presented Verde Remote, and surprisingly, the solution really gave them the right solution for them, especially during the time of the pandemic. So, to really appreciate what happened, we did a video. Actually, Asia Pacific did a video. Probably on the next slide. I wanted everybody to appreciate the video so that. From the customer standpoint, you will be appreciating the solution that we provided Asia Pacific College. Ms. Aika, maybe we could do the playback.
Before the pandemic, it was not uncommon to find students staying in the computer labs until closing time. Applications like Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere Pro require capable computers to manipulate and render the pixels, something students generally don't have at home. Before the pandemic, Asia Pacific College ran computer laboratories with specific software licenses on a time-shared use basis. The allocation was one computer per student in each class. The specifications of these computers would depend on the instructed disciplines. Computing laboratories were built to match resources to needs, so idle computing power was not wasted. Once the pandemic hit, virtual desktops seemed ideal, but existing cloud solutions capable of the workload came with premium pricing, easily exceeding the school's budget. Creative content requires vast amounts of time and effort. Video projects require rendering, a process that soaks up computing resources despite being a mostly unattended process. Asia Pacific College signed up with various cloud-based resources for its computer laboratory requirements. APC established partnerships with companies that provided access to their software and partnered with Microsoft Azure for generic cloud-based desktops to handle everyday computing tasks. For graphic-intensive deployments, an unmetered desktop virtualization solution was required to accommodate the students' needs for more access than the restricted access previously administered. Acer Veriton computers were set up with access managed by Verde VDI Remote Access. Students can work directly on those computers remotely from home computers or thin clients without time usage limitations. Verde VDI Remote Access allows for more hands-on time by the students without being restricted by metered usage. Repurposing existing computers and adding new systems where needed made the system affordable and fast to implement. Most importantly, adoption by the students and administrators was easy and seamless.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the technical glitch. I'm here to discuss our active products right now, as also our EOL products. Next slide, please, Aika. For those who are familiar with our NComputing products, our virtualization platform is what we call vSpace Pro. Throughout the years, vSpace is synonymous to just one. Um, uh, Voice check again, Aika. Is my audio okay? Like to check?
Yes,
Oliver,
sir.
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
clear.
thank you very much. So going back, vSpace is synonymous to just one solution, but now we have the variant of vSpace is three. We have our very popular vSpace Pro. It's free included in the thin client. When you buy the product, it's already included. We call it the vSpace Pro LTS. LTS is standing for long-term support. But if you're looking for a much more comprehensive solution wherein it goes beyond 100, support for touchscreen, smart board, we have our own vSpace Pro Enterprise Edition. You could try it out, but it requires an annual maintenance plan license per device. And for those who would like to have an open source solution for vSpace, we have our very own vSpace for Linux, compatible with Ubuntu. Now, we have our annual maintenance plan. I think some of you already heard about it. Our annual maintenance plan is our support license. It's applicable to our enterprise edition, but moreover, it gives you or gives customer that capability to use legacy products just like an L300 or even the previous models and use them with our latest software, namely our vSpace Pro LTS and vSpace Pro Enterprise Edition. Now, last year with the pandemic, we also introduced some software clients, namely our vSpace Pro client. It's actually our version of client access for vSpace, but on a software form. It's applicable to Google Chromebook or even legacy Windows devices such as laptops and desktops, even if you have low specifications. This will work seamlessly with vSpace Pro Enterprise. Now, for customers who are looking for a solution that can repurpose their old equipment, old desktops and laptop, and make them behave like a thin client device under end computing, our offering is called Leaf Operating System. It really works well with our vSpace Pro Enterprise. What's good about our software clients is it is in subscription format, wherein without investing much on the hardware, or even no investment on the hardware, it gives life to old equipment and make them new again, and seamlessly works well with our vSpace Pro Enterprise. Okay. We have also our Pi Management Suite. It's our management suite that could manage devices across your network. And this really works well seamlessly with our vSpace products also. Next slide, please. Next slide, Ms. Aika. Now, in terms of our clients for vSpace, we have our very popular fast-moving product, L300. I think most of you knows about this. This is our 10-year model already. It's been there in the market, very much in demand. It's our zero client, L300 and L350, if you're looking for a DVI model. We also have our specific model for education, which is MX100S. But now, about a couple of years ago, we introduced our thin client, our multi-protocol, multi-function RX300, very, very versatile product, works well with our current vSpace LTS enterprise. The good thing about RX300, I'd like to point out, it's multi-protocol, not only working in our vSpace, but it also works with Microsoft Remote Desktop. It also works well with our Verde VDI. And we have introduced last year, not only is RX300 capable in a local area network environment, but can now go beyond the local area network and works well in VPN. So if your customers are looking for remote branch solutions, the RX300 really works well. At the same time, we are pleased to introduce, actually we have introduced already a couple of quarters ago, that the RX300, our RX series in particular, is capable for webcam. So for solutions involving video conferencing, our RX series, namely our RX300, the one you see on the screen, can now be capable of connecting webcams and use it as for any video conferencing that you would look for. Next slide, please. Aside from our vSpace products, next slide, Ms. Aika, we have our enterprise VDI clients. So I'd like to discuss one by one. The first model at the top, the one in blue, we color coded everything, are the ones for Microsoft. So if you're looking for a solution that would be complementary, namely for Microsoft like Azure, Remote Desktop, we have our RX RDP Plus, RX 420 RDP. These are devices designed and manufactured by NComputing that is entirely for Microsoft platform. So some of the features that are capable of these devices are it's capable also with Verde VDI, our own solution. It has an integrated Chromium browser, namely for the RX 420. It's managed by the Pi Management Center. And also, if you're looking for capability to work with our vSpace Pro Enterprise, we have optional licenses that will make these devices, the Microsoft devices, work with our vSpace Pro. Now, if you're looking for Citrix and VMware, I think some of you already have deployments of this one. We have our RX HDX, the one in green. It's available in single or native dual monitor configuration. And recently, we have introduced our IGEL OS unit for Citrix, the one in yellow at the bottom. So these enterprise VDI clients are available right now. If you need a comprehensive presentation or tailor-made your solution for particular customers, whether it's a Microsoft, Citrix, VMware, or IGEL OS for Citrix, please reach out to us, reach out to WSI. We are more than happy to discuss it with you and present it to your customers. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please, Ms. Aika. Next slide, Ms. Aika.
No, Oliver, I think
It was on the next slide.
Yeah, it is the next slide, please.
This is it.
Manju, is it already on the next slide?
Yes,
It
yes.
is. It is.
Okay, the vertical markets right now we'd like to discuss. Um, we have certain markets that have been there ever since, and we have covered in Philippines. We are very strong in education, namely our DepEd deployment. But you see in the screen are certain logos of known colleges and universities. We have also deployments in manufacturing. We have deployments in manufacturing, namely for use in production lines, 24 by 7, clean room. We also are very present in healthcare. We have certain known hospitals like St. Luke's Davao Doctors who have been using our devices for almost more than 5 years. In retail, we see some very popular retail outlets and also big corporations such as SM Supermarket who's using our devices in their groceries. And also in finance, namely a Bank of Makati, PS Bank, who have been using our devices and have helped them. And they have started using our devices even years back, starting with the L series. Now they're going to the RX series. And hopefully, as if the market will be improving, we will see some deployments already in the hotel industries. Okay. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, the next speaker I'd like to introduce is our solutions architect. He's based in Singapore. He's very helpful to the Philippine market in coming up with solutions, namely for Citrix, Microsoft, and even VMware. But this morning, he will be discussing and focusing his discussion on the new offerings of NComputing in relation to Microsoft. I'll turn over the mic to Mr. Jesse Pat. Jesse?
Uh, Hi. Thank you, Oliver. And I believe we are a couple slides a little bit late. Could we go on to two more slides? One more. Thank you. There you go. All right. So today I'm going to discuss what we previously already talked about, which is a and computing thin client solution for Azure WVD, which is Windows Virtual Desktop. So Windows, if you do not know what Windows Virtual Desktop is, it is a solution from Microsoft, and that's very catering to work from home, work from anywhere situation, and everything is offered by Azure, and it's basically you buy a service from Azure, you'll able to get this WVD as a solution for you, and it has a lot of capabilities, and it's simple to set up, and so customer, it's very easy for them to get hand-on WVD and start working on it. With this, NComputing brings a market-tested, reliable hardware platform, which is which is Raspberry Pi 4 platform, with a seamless software client integration with Microsoft. So this product is a joint product from NComputing and Microsoft. We've been working on this product for about since Q2 of last year. So we only introduced this by end of Q3, Q4 of last year. So this is a product from both Microsoft and computing. So with this, what we call is RX 420 RDP. So with this hardware platform, native dual band Wi-Fi support, which is 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, and dual monitor support natively. So it will cater to many user cases and many user environments. And of course, a LAN Ethernet port is also available for you to connect to your network using LAN. So that's catered to most of your Wi-Fi internet needs. As with all the RX series thin clients from NComputing, we have what we call a PMC, Central Device Management. So PMC stands for Pi Management Console or Pi Management Center. And so from this PMC Central Management, you're able to remotely manage all your RX 420 RDP devices. So for tasks such as updating user profile, device firmware updates, remote troubleshooting, schedule maintenance tasks, and many, many more tasks from from remotely and centrally. So this will alleviate a lot of IT administrators' workload and their complexity. So with that, we also have a what we call a local Chromium browser. As I just said, this is Azure WVD solution. So if you purchase a Azure WVD, everything you use is monitored by Azure and it's chargeable, meaning if you're using a compute resource, that's a chargeable thing. You subscribe to that. And also if you are downloading a large movie, which you are using a Azure network, Azure will charge that for you also. So to alleviate that cost for you, we have a local Chromium browser, which is not related to Azure. So if you're doing some browsing or just internet browsing to check on a few things, it's not necessary to go onto Azure. You can use this local Chromium browser. So that will lower your cost also. As with all of our ThinkClient offering, we are striving for low power consumption, low cost, and zero footprint for you. So that's the beauty of NComputing products. So with this, we have a highly secure, easy to set up, manage, and cost-effective solution for Azure WVD. And please go on to the next slide. And here, I encourage everyone to get onto this website, which is on the URL is on the bottom of this page, and to explore the Azure Marketplace with our solution. So from there, you can actually learn more about what is Azure WVD and also how you're going to purchase this and what kind of solution they're able to offer to you and what other combination of services Azure able to offer to you to give you a holistic of a solution for you to get your solution address your needs. And the next, we have a short video of just show you how easy it is for our solution to connect to a Azure WVD. Please go on to the next page and start playing the video. Thanks. So this is the size of this product. It's very small. It's about the size of a business card. So this is the window you see. You put in your account information there. Once you already set up the thing, so clicking and put in your password. I need to point out we also support two-factor authentication as long as you subscribe to that from Azure. And this will log you in, and you see a drop-down menu of available resource for you. You can launch a desktop, or you can just launch a specific application. So this one actually launched a desktop. I need to point out this desktop, actually, when we did this, the environment is located in Germany from here, so it's kind of far. So now you are inside your Azure WVD Windows 10 desktop, and you can just check out everything, and the person just log off, and then he will launch a app, just a virtual app itself. I believe he launched a Warp app. Notepad. There you go. Launch it. Once you launch, you see just a app there, and you can do whatever you need there. Just editing your text documents. Okay. And he will then do that. There you go. And I'm going to save it. And then once you finish, you can just log off everything will go back to the NComputing desktop. So that's all it is. And it's very simple to set up. And I can say if you have your Azure ready, you have this product, you can get your device working within uh, 5 minutes. Okay, with that, that ends my presentation, and I will hand over to Nelly.
Okay, I'll take it from here, Jesse. So thank you. And again, to our partners, if you have questions, just type it on the chat box. So while waiting for your questions, we have a couple of announcements from WSI, which will be discussed further by Sir Lawrence Migallos, the product manager of NComputing. Miss Aika, next slide, please. And Sir
Hello, can you hear me already? Nelly?
Yes,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can.
and
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, good morning, partners. I see familiar names in the attendees. So, basically, well, a short introduction. Some of you already know me. Well, 3 to 4 years ago, I left the industry, the distribution industry, to go to a different route. Uh, so, basically, I moved to pre sales. Then actually, I believe you all, some of you, or most of you already know that 2020 was not really good that time. So it just so happened that I was given the opportunity again to join the company and as a product manager for N Computing. So for our sales promo, so basically we're currently doing a rerun for our promo. So uh, Aika, can you move to the next slide? Yan. So basically, this is my details. So you have my email, my mobile number. Yan. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So basically, we're doing a rerun for our program. So for the registration, you can do two things. You can scan the QR code, this one, the QR code, and we have the link for our registration. So our program is more of buy 5 units of end computing, which the below models are the eligible SKU. So buy one and you can get additional 1 unit for that same model. Okay. Free item can be changed to any SKU or with equal or lesser amount. Then only POs received inclusive of the promo period are qualified. Okay, so just to want to reiterate again that the promo will run on February 1 to June 30 of 2021. Again, please kindly register your opportunities to the link and you can do the scan and QR code. That's it. Next slide, please. I believe that will be my last slide. Ayun. Uh, Nelly, will this be on your part?
okay, sir, I'll take
Okay.
it from here. So, we
Thank
are
you.
actually inviting everyone to join the partner community that we have on Facebook. So, in this group, we post announcements for the products that we carry under Solutions Group One. So that's gonna be the Sun Citrix, Microsoft, and Computing Panasonic and Poly. So occasionally we have some activities here. So we really encourage everyone to join. So you can either go to the link that we have on the screen, or you can just scan the QR code that is reflected right now. So I guess that's it, and we can now open the floor for the Q&A portion. Next slide, Miss Aika. So for our partners, you may type in your questions right now. And while waiting for that, Miss Aika, I think you can play the Chinese New Year greeting from the N Computing team.
I believe previously there was a question with regarding to Microsoft Client account. Also, Manju already answered it on the chat itself. So, as with anything with Microsoft, licensing from Microsoft is always required. So, as what Manju said, you need MS RDS Cal for all the VDI solution if you are going to use Microsoft OSs. And so, if there's any other question regarding licenses, uh, you can always reach us so we can give you some suggestions.
If I may add, Andrew, Microsoft RDS is also under my team. It's the product is being headed by Sam Hermoso. So if you have end computing requirements and you need RDS calls, so Sam is the person that you can contact, or the AEs who are also in this meeting. You can contact them also for RDS calls. Thank you.
We have a question coming from Bong Malyari from Microbase. I think WSI maybe you could answer. And it says, is there any quantity requirement for deal registration?
Sorry, what is the question, Oliver?
From Bong Malyari from Microbase, meron daw po bang quantity requirement or amount for the deal registration?
The deal registration, this is separate from the promo. I think the minimum amount, it's not on the quantity, it's about 100K. So if you have a deal that's worth 100K, then and you are first to register, then the discount will only be given to your company.
Any more
Okay.
questions from our partners?
From Mr. George Pascual, what is the hardware warranty and SLA? Sir George, for the hardware warranty, namely, it's standard for has been standard for throughout the years. There are certain models that are 1 year RMA, meaning return to manufacturer, and there are 3 years RMA. So if, for example, you have a RMA claim, you just have to go through the process to our distributor for the exchange. So any manufacturer or electronic defect, you can just claim it as a warranty. For the service level agreement, it really depends upon per project. We could always discuss it offline with our distributor depending on the project.
Uh, I want to add one thing for hardware warranty. So uh, some devices came with 3 years, some came with 1 year. Obviously, you can always buy extra years, so extend your hardware warranty beyond the original what is offered. So if you have a 1 year, you can buy another 2 years, make it 3 years, or buy another 4 years, make it 5 years. So whichever is suit your company uh, needs. Okay.
To all our participants, I'd like to just make this remark. For those of you who will be requiring further discussion offline, kindly reach out to our distributor for any appointments. We are more than willing, all the speakers here, product related for end computing, we are more than willing to really present to you for enablements or even presenting to your particular end users for certain projects. But feel free to reach out to our distributor so that we could have an appointment.
So while waiting for questions, Ms. Aika, can you go to the next slide, please? So we would like to remind everyone to give us a feedback, tell us how we did just by going to the link that we have on the screen. And then I think we have also typed it in the chat box, so you can just go from there. And then you may also scan the QR code that is flashed on the screen, so it will redirect to the feedback form. So yes. Okay, sir Enzo, you may type in your email address as well on the chat box so that our partners can contact
There's additional question, Nelly. How long will the deal reg
information
be
for the
valid?
end user.
Yeah. Okay, maybe from WSI, you could answer this. Coming from Reggie from Nexus, how long will the deal registration be valid?
Okay, the deal registration, usually we give 3 months. Depend on the status of your project. So Oliver here and Enzo will be asking you for details. So there are like pre-registration questions before we tag an account to a reseller. So that will also help protect your registration. So the standard is 3 months, but again depends on the status of the project. Hello.
Would there be any more questions from our partners?
Uh, there's a follow-up question, Nelly, from Reggie again. Will the project registration be per project or per account?
The registration is per opportunity. So let's say you have an opportunity with a conglomerate, let's say uh, on a certain VDI project. So you can register that project. Now, if the same company has another project under a different division and you did not register that opportunity, somebody else will register, then another reseller may be able to get that opportunity.
There's a question regarding licensing coming from Eric. Do we have perpetual license? How much? Maybe we could clarify, Eric, what type of licenses or license are you referring to? Or if you want to discuss offline, we could always discuss it. So I'll take note of this. Nelly, kindly take note of the contact details of Mr. Eric. I'll just engage him accordingly for the license.
This is noted, Sir Oliver.
Okay, Eric, I'll answer that offline for the license so that we could have a further, more thorough discussion.
So I think we have covered everything today. And are there any more questions left for us to answer, Sir Oliver?
That's the last coming from Eric. For partners, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to WSI. We'll answer them accordingly and promptly. If you have any needs, feel free to reach out to me personally, also to WSI Enzo. If you want to have our assistance regarding a particular account, product, or any other concerns, do reach out to us. Okay.
Thank you, Sir Oliver. And I guess that concludes our first virtual partner town hall. We have a lot in store for our partners this 2021. So we hope to see you in the next sessions. And that's it from our side. And we wish you a nice day ahead. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thank
time.
Take
you.
care. Thank you, guys. Keep in touch.
Thank you all.
Thank you.